From the very first second you hear this, something in you might tighten, because deep down you already know this truth. You are being influenced far more than you realize, and the internet has turned your desires into a battlefield you never agreed to fight on. But what if I told you that right now? A silent rebellion is rising, and you are part of it, even if you do not see it happening. This is the story of deinfluencing, the internet's quiet war against the pressure to want more, buy more, become more, and still never feel enough. And before you think this is just another motivational talk, let me tell you the truth. This is not motivation. This is exposure. Exposure to the invisible strategies shaping your choices, your moods, your self-worth, and your money. And before you click away, something inside you already knows you need to hear this, because you can feel it every time you scroll, and your brain whispers, you should want that, even though you don't. It begins with a question nobody ever asks out loud. When did the things we buy start deciding the kind of person we think we are? The answer is simple. It happened the moment the internet turned influence into an industry, and your insecurities into a marketplace. For years, social media fed us a steady diet of perfection, the perfect lifestyle, the perfect face, the perfect morning routine, the perfect energy, the perfect closet filled with clothes worn once and returned before anyone noticed. And it worked, because humans are wired to copy the people they admire. It is Psychology 101. We imitate the tribe, so we belong to the tribe. But somewhere around 2023, something shifted. People started noticing the cracks in the illusion. They saw the debt hidden behind the glow-ups, the exhaustion behind the morning routines, the loneliness behind the travel vlogs, and the pressure to constantly upgrade their life to match influencers who did not even live the life they posted. Then came the quiet voice of rebellion. Someone said, "Do not buy this. You don't need it." Someone else said, "I regretted purchasing this." Another said, "I am done letting strangers decide my lifestyle." And suddenly, the algorithm did something unexpected. It listened. Deinfluencing was born, not as an attack on influencers, but as a mirror held up to our obsession with needing more to feel like enough. Deinfluencing speaks to the part of your mind that is exhausted from keeping up with trends that expire faster than your paycheck clears. It speaks to the part of you tired of buying things that promise transformation but deliver disappointment. It speaks to the part of you that is tired of being emotionally manipulated by ads pretending to be advice. And maybe that is why you clicked on this video, because a part of you is ready to detox your mind from the noise that has been shaping your life behind your back. To understand deinfluencing, you must understand the psychology behind why you buy things in the first place. Humans do not buy products. Humans buy feelings. A new phone is not just a new phone. It is the feeling of status. A new skincare routine is not just skincare. It is the feeling of control. A new bag is not just a bag. It is the feeling of being seen and admired. And when influencers tell you to buy something, they are not selling you the object. They are selling you the identity attached to it. And that is where the rebellion begins. Deinfluencing breaks the link between desire and identity. It forces you to question why you want something in the first place. And when you start asking that question, your entire relationship with money and self-worth begins to shift. For years, brands have used psychological triggers, scarcity, urgency, social proof, fear of missing out, the promise of becoming a better version of yourself if only you spend a little more. But deinfluencing exposes the truth. The better version of you is not waiting in your shopping cart. It is waiting in your choices. Real confidence does not come from the things you buy. It comes from learning to want less of what drains you and more of what grows you. Imagine this scenario, because you have probably lived it. You are scrolling at night. You see someone with glowing skin holding a product, and they say, "This changed my life," and for a moment, your brain lights up. Maybe this is what I need too. But a week later, the product arrives. You try it. It does nothing. And you feel that familiar disappointment. The quiet voice says, maybe the problem isn't the product. Maybe the problem is me. But the problem is not you. The problem is the invisible mechanics of influence, working exactly as they were designed to manipulate your emotional vulnerabilities. Deinfluencing is your mind waking up from that trance. It is the moment you realize that happiness is not something you can order with express shipping. It is something you build with intention, discipline, clarity, and self-respect. There is a reason people in 2024 and 2025 are drawn to minimalism. decluttering, financial literacy, and dopamine detoxing. It is not because these things are trends, but because people are genuinely tired of feeling controlled by their impulses and drained by their purchases. The global economy has been fluctuating. Inflation is rising. Living costs are climbing. Wages are stagnant. And people are realizing that being financially smart is no longer optional. It is survival. Deinfluencing is financial rebellion. It is the moment you say, I choose where my money goes. I choose what I value. I choose what influences me. And yet this movement is not anti-influencer. It is pro-insight. It is pro-awareness. It is pro-accountability. It is a reminder that the internet is a marketplace, but you are not obligated to be a customer every time you open your phone. De-influencing also forces us to confront the deeper emotional patterns driving overconsumption. Because consumerism thrives on insecurity, it feeds on comparison. It grows when you feel like everyone else is evolving faster than you. And the algorithm knows this. The algorithm sees your late-night searches, your insecurities, your desires, your fears, and it packages them into recommendations that feel personal. Because they are personal. But when people started saying no, when they started questioning the magic behind the curtain, something happened. The spell began to break. Why? Because awareness is the enemy of manipulation. Once you notice the strings, you cannot unsee them. De-influencing is not about becoming anti-fun, anti-joy, or anti-lifestyle aesthetics. It is about taking back your autonomy from an attention economy that profits when you feel inadequate. Think about your younger self for a moment. The version of you before all the pressure, before the trends, before the constant comparison. What did you truly want then? What made you feel whole then? Because if you strip away the noise, you might find that most of the things you chase today are not rooted in your true desires, but in learned desires shaped by digital culture. This rebellion asks you to return to yourself. I want to take you into a story that explains the psychology even deeper. Imagine a girl named Maya. She is 23, she has a stable job, but she is drowning in micro-purchases, skincare she barely uses, clothes she does not wear, vitamins she forgets to take. Every month, she wonders why she is broke, but when she looks around her room, every surface is covered with things she bought because someone on the internet said it was life-changing. She begins to feel guilty, frustrated, confused. And then one night, she watches a video. Someone says, you don't need this. Stop buying random things that do not align with your real life. You deserve better financial peace and clarity than this. And for the first time, Maya does not feel attacked. She feels seen. She feels understood. She feels liberated. That one moment is the seed of de-influencing taking root. Within weeks, Maya begins auditing her buying habits. She makes a list of what she truly values. She unsubscribes from people who trigger unhealthy comparison. She stops buying things to fill emotional gaps. She starts saving money for things that matter. Slowly, she realizes the truth. The confidence she was searching for in products was actually born from discipline. The peace she was searching for in shopping was hidden inside intentional living. The self-worth she wanted to outsource to brands was something she had the power to build from within. Maya is not alone. Millions around the world feel the same shift happening deep inside them. People want meaning, not material overload. Clarity, not chaos. Authenticity, not curated perfection. Humanity is entering a new psychological era. One where people crave realness more than aesthetics and truth more than trends. And that is what makes de-influencing so powerful. It is not a fad. It is an awakening. Some people fear this movement because it threatens the business model of manipulation, the business model that turned insecurity into revenue streams. But the truth is this movement is good for all of us. Because the internet is evolving. The audience is evolving. People want transparency, honesty, and emotional relevance. They want to feel like creators are humans, not sales reps. And brands will eventually adapt because the consumer has changed. Once the consumer changes, the culture follows. But here is the part most people do not talk about. De-influencing is not only about what you stop buying. It is also about what you start valuing. You start valuing time because time is the one currency you cannot refund. You start valuing mental peace because peace is more expensive than luxury. You start valuing financial stability because stress is the most costly lifestyle you can have. You start valuing authenticity because pretending is exhausting. And the internet has exhausted all of us. When you value these things, your habits naturally shift. Your priorities realign. Your self-worth recalibrates. You begin to see what influencers never showed you. Real growth is internal, long before it becomes external. The internet taught us to chase aesthetics, but the rebellion is teaching us to chase alignment. Because what is the point of a beautiful life on camera if it is chaotic, painful, and empty behind the scenes? This movement is a reminder that your value is not measured by the things you own. Your beauty is not found in the items you collect. Your identity is not shaped by what you buy. Your worth is not determined by trends that change every week. And if you feel this message in your chest right now, it is because you are part of that shift. Somewhere inside you, there is a version of yourself who is tired of consuming and ready to start creating a life rooted in purpose, clarity, integrity, and intention. Deinfluencing is not the end of influence. It is the evolution of it. Influence is not going away, but it is being redefined. Influence is no longer about who has the most things. It is about who has the most awareness, the most discipline, the most connection to themselves. People now admire those who live intentionally, not those who live impulsively. And maybe that is what you are seeking to. Not more things, but more meaning. Not more products, but more peace. Not more validation, but more authenticity. This movement is a quiet rebellion, but make no mistake, it is powerful because it is happening inside millions of minds at the same time. And when minds shift, cultures shift. Your power does not come from your ability to buy. It comes from your ability to choose. Your freedom does not come from trends. It comes from truth. Your worth is not something you purchase. It is something you reclaim. And in that moment of reclamation, you become impossible to manipulate, impossible to pressure, impossible to control through carefully crafted illusions. Deinfluencing is not the end of consumerism. It is the beginning of conscious consumerism, where you buy because it aligns with your life, not because it fills a void, where you spend intentionally, not emotionally, where you choose yourself over trends. So, as you reach the end of this message, let me ask you one final question. What would your life look like if you stopped buying to impress a world that does not even know your name, and started choosing to invest in the version of yourself that your future will thank you for? That answer is your rebellion. And if this message awakens something in you, do not let it fade. Choose to live with clarity. Choose to spend with intention. Choose to grow with purpose. Choose to question everything that tries to control your mind. Because this is the real shift humanity is experiencing. The return to intentional living. The return to inner confidence. The return to self-respect. The return to authenticity. This is the power of deinfluencing. And this, right here, is your invitation to join the silent rebellion and reclaim your life from an economy that profits from your doubt. If this resonated with you, like this video, comment your thoughts, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new upload. Because this journey is just beginning, and you belong right here with us.